Hello everyone, this is Nikita. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have brought a different kind of a video. Generally I bring book review related videos, but today it's a newspaper article from The Hindu. So now I've decided to bring such newspaper articles because these newspaper articles are sometimes very inspiring to us and also puts a different kind of a life perspective that we can also learn from. So this is one such article that I wanted to share with you all in this video. So we generally get The Hindu newspaper at our home, and on page number 5 of this newspaper we have this article, Life in a Cold State. Also this newspaper is from 19th of August, Friday. Okay, so basically this article is what I found is inspiring because it is about a person named Prabhash Chandra. So Prabhash Chandra is a physics student and also an independent filmmaker who has directed the movie I Am Not the River Jhelum. So this movie is a very poetic yet probing experience to depict the story of Kashmir from the lens of Prabhash Chandra. So he had tried to bring the trauma of the valley before and after the abrogation of contentious Article 370. This is a very moving experience for those who have watched the movie already. And in the article it has been mentioned that he has delved into the gravity of the situation by using the verses of Jagannath Azad, Inder Salim and Angel Gonzalez, and also employed his experience in theatre to create the lyrical imagery. The film fetched the KR Mohanan Award at 26th International Festival for the Best Debut Director at India earlier this year. So the first question he has been asked is, how did you arrive at the idea? So he says that I have been visiting Kashmir for some time now. During the course of my stay, I got an opportunity to engage with the community. Of course, that helps him in knowing the viewpoints of the people out there. I taught theatre in school and colleges there and also interacted with many people. I started listening to their viewpoints and kept observing the events happening around me. And he also says that the worst sufferers in Kashmir are the women and the children because they are the most vulnerable groups there. And he says that personally I don't appreciate it when the state requires the use of discipline and death as techniques of social control. However, when I used to come back to Delhi, there was a completely different narrative. He says that where Kashmiri Muslims were portrayed as dangerous, anti-national, that's what we all know from all the movies that we had seen till now. There is a huge gap in the perception and the ground reality of Kashmir. This is what he has tried to portray in this movie. So the next question he has been asked is, how did Jhelum become a metaphor for what young Afeefa sees and experiences? So who is Afeefa first of all? Afeefa is the girl around which the story of I'm Not the River Jhelum revolves. Afeefa's traumatic memories of childhood when her uncle just disappeared one day, the methodical and planned killing, and violence in her community, her close ones becoming a victim in front of her eyes, all of this numbed her. That's what happens with most of the children in Kashmir. Next question was, why did you employ poetry and elements of theatre to depict torture and protest? He says that he didn't want to build a plot structure which is just built to give the character specification, but he rather wanted to capture different time periods, that too not in a linear way. He feels that poetic images have the intrinsic characteristics to widen the possibility to look at an image, and the poems help them penetrate the deeper meaning of the complex world of Kashmir, because obviously poems have that ability of bringing out the entire essence of what Kashmir actually is. And also during the time of shooting, I always looked for the inner state of characters. I shot the scenes of protest in a measured way to be in sync with the poetic elements. He had also said that I have fused the elements of theatre into the cinematic space in a way that does justice to the poetic expression. Next question asked from him was that to explain the powerful opening and poignant closing scene. So he says that when he was in the valley, he saw very few mass graveyards, and he says that many of them were unmarked. which means that people there don't know whether their loved ones are buried in these graves or not. So they don't know where to mourn. They're still searching for that. Prabhash Chandra says that I saw one old man looking at the grave. That moment stuck with me. And now the last scene, he talks about that it was about a helicopter shot that looks at the valley through a stream of white clouds. He says that it is about the hope that one day there will be peace and love in the valley. Fourth question asked from him was, what challenges did you face while shooting in the valley? So what he says from the filmmaker point of view also, he says that accessing the space or location that has been challenging, as Kashmir was under curfew and surveillance for a long time. And also once the fundamental work was done, my challenge was to achieve the best out of the material with the bare minimum resources that we had. Arranging the resources and finances was a challenge for me at every phase of the film. He says that I kept asking for favors from my friends and colleagues who contributed in whatever way they could. I'm still in huge financial debt. I'm paying monthly EMIs. Next question was, some might say that the film becomes as one-sided as the Kashmir file in its thought. So in answer, Prabhash Chandra says that I don't think so. It's my take on the kind of violence and trauma that people have faced over a period of time, irrespective of the religion. Last question from him was, how will you take it to the people? In answer to this question, he says regarding the censorship and all, I'll describe here. He says that I want to release my film, show it on big screens across theatres in India and abroad. But again, I have no control over that because of the mainstream structure. The ideas of censorship, the present regime believes in it really very different and difficult to deal with. In our country, film distribution is in the hands of a few people. This is one of the biggest challenges that an independent filmmaker faces. Not even independent filmmaker, it is also faced by the filmmaker who had already been had a lot of experience in the film industry. It is just because they hadn't ruled the film industry, and those who are ruling it are actually not letting them come in the forefront. Guys, I brought this article to you because I found this article really fascinating, because the title says life in a cold state, and that's what it truly describes about that how Kashmir people are actually living out there with their own kind of challenges and complexities. And I feel this movie is going to be a very moving experience, and how an independent filmmaker actually faces a lot of challenges in the film industry and couldn't actually show their own perspective in a very bold manner, because it is not even sure that if their movie is going to be put out on the screen or not. Moreover, I feel that this title itself says that I am not the River Jhelum, which actually captivated my interest to read this article. And another thing I found was that this article has the story of a young girl, Afeefa. The life glimpses of this girl is narrated in this story, which actually brings out the complexities of Kashmir. That's why I feel that I'm interested to see this movie as well, because it tries to bring out a fresh concept of describing the complexities of Kashmir in a poetic manner. I hope you like the article, and I'll keep bringing more such inspiring articles for all of you. And let me know in comments if you like the article description, or should I work on something else as well. Till then, take care. Bye bye. See you in the next video.